Welcome back. We continue to cover this tragic news of two WBTV employees who were killed in a helicopter crash this afternoon, and it got us thinking about the helicopter itself.
Yeah, this particular type of helicopter has been under scrutiny before, it sounds like. WCNC Charlotte's Nate Morabito has been diving into what we know about this helicopter, joining us now from the newsroom. What have you found out, Nate?
Hey there. Well, the NTSB identified the helicopter as a Robinson R44. An expert we talked to told us these helicopters are not just commonly used for news and traffic, but tours and sightseeing too. NTSB data we analyzed Tuesday afternoon show the Robinson R44 has crashed more than any other since 2008. 480 times, accounting for almost 18% of all helicopter crashes.
I'm a pilot of airplanes. I'm also an aerospace engineer. I can tell you that a lot of the problems that pilots have with the R44 are induced or created by some of the design deficiencies in the helicopter.
Personal injury attorney Mike Slack says his law firm settled multiple lawsuits with the company. He calls the company's track record with this particular helicopter concerning.
They're inexpensive, and you get what you pay for with this helicopter. You don't get a lot of performance. You don't get a whole lot of what I'd call safety margins with it. The manufacturer would argue the contrary, but quite frankly, the record speaks for itself.
A 2018 Los Angeles Times investigation found Robinson R44 crashes killed pilots and passengers more than any other helicopter in the decade between 2006 to 2016. The LA Times concluded that kind of helicopter was involved in a deadly crash at a rate almost 50% higher than its peers, responsible for 1.6 deadly accidents per 100,000 hours flown. The company pointed out the vast majority of crashes involving these helicopters were not the fault of the helicopter itself, but rather its operator. Slack disputes that.
There's features of this helicopter that are particularly unforgiving and can surprise a very experienced pilot.
Now, federal data show the helicopter involved in today's crash was made in 1999. We've reached out to the manufacturer, Robinson Helicopter Company, for comment. That was a little after 4 today. We're still waiting to hear back. And I just again want to point out the NTSB is investigating this crash. We don't know what caused it. It'll be months before we really understand what happened. But this perspective is really critical in understanding the machine that these two men were in today.
Yeah, it's interesting to learn that information, but yes, good
Yeah,
good
but you have to keep in mind, right, like everything that we don't know at this point, and also that perspective is from an attorney who represents victims who have been wronged.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's just a lot to unbox, and there are so many questions about what happened. And at this point, we just have to be okay with not having any answers.
Be patient.